All right, we're moving on now. That's enough. That is enough. Let's get off that. We're going. I actually still want to talk about the Adelaide Crows for a second before I get in the wooden spoon. Because I was saying there is a player right now in the AFL who I would 100% go for, trade for. And this was brought up. I don't know if it was from Cornsey or someone, but I think someone mentioned it. And me and you have often discussed this. But what do you think's going on with Jack Graham right now? Because he's
Whoa.
contracted till 2023, but I think when he signed that, he probably thought there was a very big chance he was going to be the club captain. And when you're
Yeah.
told by the media, the fan base, the supporters, the whole entire footy community that you are the next captain of the Richmond Football Club, but you go to work and you do they do a vote and you get told that Toby Nankervis is in front of you.
Yeah. I was not expecting
That would
Nank.
have to hurt.
I mean, Nank's obviously so highly rated throughout the club, and I really highly rate him. He's one of my favorite players, but I was not expecting him to be a captain. I wasn't expecting us to do co-captains either. I'm not the biggest fan of clubs doing co-captains, but Graham definitely he was backed in by everyone. He was going to be the next captain of Richmond. Every supporter. It obviously didn't happen. I don't know if they thought he wasn't ready. He's still young, but
That's
I
the
don't
issue
know.
though, because from the way they've spoken, they think Grimes and Nank are going to be the captain for the next couple of years.
Yeah.
And if you're looking at it like this, Jack Graham is contracted for only 1 year. In the AFL, 1 year is nothing. It is nothing. The AFL doesn't carry over contracts. They basically terminate them once a player gets traded if they can restructure it for them to be on more money, right? If you're the Adelaide Football Club and you see Jack Graham and you already have some issues with the young leadership at your club, like after Sloan, who's going to be their captain?
Exactly.
Not just that. You're looking at this. They took Thilthorpe at 2. Next year they took Rochelle at 6, and this year they'll probably have another top 5 pick again, right? After that, you would think, hold on a second, we have drafted so high for so many years in a row. I would say to if I was Adelaide, I'm going to Jack Graham. I'm talking to him and say, hey, mate, we'll trade for you. Play 1 year with the club, and then the next year on from there, you can probably be the captain of the club if everything goes right.
You almost have to do that, considering he's from South Australia. He's a player who it is looking like if a player is he seems like a player that could go back, and for the right price, go back and lead a football club.
Would you rather maybe 650 at Richmond and just be a dude that plays in the midfield for the rest of his career? Or do you want to go to the Adelaide Crows, the team you grew up on? You've done everything. You've done heaps at Richmond. You've done 2 premierships, second in the best and fairest. You haven't grown into the player maybe they thought you were going to grow into. You're coming to a club that's pretty bad, ready to rise. You can be our captain in the next year or so after your first year.
Yeah, and there's such a prestige that comes with being captain of a football club, especially in a state where there's 2 teams, so many supporters. I think that it'd be a real possibility, and Adelaide would be dumb not to at least try and inquire for the services of Jack Graham.
He'll get more than 800K a year. He'll get 800K a year, right? He'll get more.
Yeah,
if he does what we think,
if they really want him. If they really want him, then they might be willing to pay whatever price. Obviously, the contracts in AFL aren't huge. So I could see a big contract for him to go over there. There's a lot of incentive for him to go over there, especially if he gets offered a big deal.
And I think a lot of people were thinking a month ago, they were like, oh yeah, Jack Graham's a Tiger for life. He was a Tiger for life if he was the captain.
I was.
He's not the captain of the Richmond Football Club. He's not going to be the captain of the Richmond Football Club for a guaranteed 2 years.
Right? Yeah, at least.
And if you're Adelaide, if he's averaging 22 a game, you're bringing in your future captain. You're paying the price. for a dude that can explode in the league any given second.
And they need someone in their midfield, like pretty bad, to be honest, a younger player to take them through after Sloan retires. They've moved Laird into the middle. So Graham would be like the smart option for them to go for.
What do you want if you're the Tigers? Because he's contracted.
Oh, that's actually really tough.
Because they probably wouldn't give up their first that year. They'd probably give up the future first.
Yeah, I mean, we'd probably end up just taking picks, to be honest. The player doesn't immediately spring to mind. Like, they're not going to be giving up one of their top draft picks from the last couple of years. None of the aging players would be interested in. So I think it would almost be a case of a couple like good picks.
Yeah. I was also thinking they were interested in Collier Dawkins a little bit ago. And people will be like, well, as Richmond fans, could you say they're going to look to trade Jack Graham? How could you even think about it? Mate, we're not the only ones that have thought about it. Just go on any serious Super Tiger supporter Facebook group, and they were all devastated when Graham wasn't made captain. Everyone knows that he had contract offers. He had contract offers from Carlton and that years ago. And it's just the obvious. We know Adelaide's going to approach him in the off-season.
Oh, yeah, we would have had to. Like, the more I think about it, the more I'm a bit confused. But obviously, like, Graham will... Nankervis and Grimes will be captains for the foreseeable future. I just don't know where, like, it leaves Graham, to be honest.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of our club. Like, obviously he'll be playing, hopefully he can get some good time in the middle. But long term, I'm really not sure.
Yeah, I'm not too concerned about like Carlton and that.
Oh, no, me neither. I mean, he'd stay 100% instead of going there. 100%. But yeah, it just depends if he's just going to kind of be another player, like you said.
Yeah. I guess we'll have to find out. People will say, oh, mate, we're just predicting the future. Everyone knows if you're a smart AFL fan, you know Adelaide are going to come to Jack Graham. They're going to come to Jack Lukosius. Those are the two players they're going to be targeting very heavily. And if they somehow I'm quite certain Lukosius is going to sign like a 5-year deal with Gold Coast. Like, I'm quite certain it will be a long deal. But if the Adelaide Crows come out with Jack Graham and Jack Lukosius in free agency, jeez, that
huge.
Yeah, and Rankin, like, I think Rankin's more of a poor Adelaide player. I don't know why, but he just looks like it.
I could see. I could see him at either, to be honest.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll move on. It's an interesting thing to think about. I don't know what's going to happen there.